dropping a lap time faster than any Ferrari managed in qualifying at Bahrain last year. Read that again. The man has been in Ferrari gear for 5 minutes, and is already outperforming his new team's previous best efforts. If this is what day 2 of Hamilton at Ferrari looks like, we might need to buckle up for an absolute shitstorm of a season. Is he adapting faster than anyone expected? Has Ferrari actually built a rocket ship this time? Or are we witnessing the beginning of an internal war in Maranello that'll make the Red Bull Verstappen-Ricciardo fiasco look like a friendly karting session? Let's get into it. The 7-time champ threw down a 1 minute and 29.379 seconds, not only beating Leclerc's 1 minute and 29.431 seconds, but making everyone suddenly realize that Ferrari might actually have their shit together this year. And if that wasn't enough, Williams, yes, Williams, the team that has spent most of the last decade as F1's equivalent of a participation trophy, was at the top of the timesheets with Logan freaking Sargent dropping a 1 minute and 29.3 seconds. What is happening? Now, before we all collectively lose our minds, let's talk about Ferrari's race simulations because, plot twist, they actually look damn good. Leclerc ran race pace simulations in the afternoon and consistently clocked in at 1:34s and 1:35s, which means this car is fast, stable, and not eating tires for breakfast, a rare combo for Ferrari. If this holds up during the actual season, they might finally have a car that doesn't self-destruct by lap 30. Now, let's talk about the elephant in the room, the battle for Ferrari's top dog status. Everyone and their mother assumed that Leclerc was the guy at Ferrari this season. He's been with the team for 5 years, knows every single engineer by name, and has survived the absolute circus of Ferrari's strategy department without throwing a chair. But then Hamilton walked in, and suddenly that's not so clear anymore. And Ferrari, they're not dumb. They've been bending over backwards to make Hamilton feel at home. They even custom-built his steering wheel to match what he used at Mercedes. If you're thinking, who cares about the steering wheel? You clearly don't know F1. Hamilton is so meticulous about his steering wheel setup that Ferrari basically had to rework their entire fucking layout just for him. Doctor's button. Moved. Shift paddles. Modified. Clutch activation. Adjusted. Basically, Hamilton wanted the car to feel like home, and Ferrari made damn sure that happened. The level of detail here is insane. We're talking microscopic changes to make sure he can process every button at 300 km per hour like it's second nature. And guess what? It's already paying off. But here's the thing. Ferrari doesn't do equal treatment. They never have. Schumacher had a clear number 2 in Barrichello. Alonso had Massa playing wingman. Vettel had Raikkonen on a leash. So the real question is, who's going to be Ferrari's golden boy this year? Because let's be real, it's gonna be one of them. And that's where shit gets spicy. Hamilton isn't here to play second fiddle. He literally said in a recent interview, "Never compare me to anyone else. I'm the first and only black driver in this sport. I'm built differently. I've been through a lot. I've had my own journey. You can't compare me to another 40-year-old F1 driver past or present because none of them are like me. I'm hungry, I don't have a wife or kids, and I'm focused on one thing, winning." This man is not here to babysit Leclerc. And Leclerc, well, he's not about to roll over and let Hamilton walk all over his Ferrari legacy, either. Leclerc has had to deal with years of Ferrari strategic fumbles, car failures, and Binotto brain farts. And he knows this is his best chance to become Ferrari's first champion since 2007. When asked about Hamilton, Leclerc was diplomatic, but let's read between the lines. It's great to see Hamilton's performance. The situation he's in now is very different from when I joined Ferrari. When I arrived, I had only 1 year in F1, so I had to learn how a team like Ferrari works. For Lewis, the team is new, but he's achieved a lot. It's really interesting to see how he's adapting. Translation: yeah, I respect him, but I'm not moving over, pal. And here's where things get really fun. What happens if Ferrari actually has the best car? Because if they do, they're gonna have to pick a side. And if Hamilton keeps adapting at this rate, Leclerc might have a serious problem. Ferrari is already the front-runner for the Constructors' Championship, but the real drama is going to be who they back for the driver's title. Do they go with Leclerc, their homegrown talent who has suffered through the Ferrari struggle years? Or do they bet it all on Hamilton, the seven-time champ who might just be their best shot at breaking Red Bull's dominance? And here's the juiciest part. This could get ugly, because neither of these guys is gonna back down. If Hamilton keeps this up, Leclerc is gonna have to throw everything at him to keep his throne. And just when you thought things couldn't get wilder, boom! Day 3 of pre-season testing hits, and suddenly, Ferrari's internal Cold War is on the brink of going nuclear. Hamilton rolls into the paddock like he owns the fucking place, fresh off a faster lap time than Ferrari managed in Bahrain last year, while Leclerc is giving off subtle but definitely pissed-off vibes in his interviews. At this point, Maranello might as well stock up on popcorn, because this season is shaping up to be a full-blown psychological thriller. And if you're thinking, hey, maybe they'll play nice and be good teammates, buddy, have you met these two? Leclerc has spent years clawing his way through Ferrari's *T strategy calls, pit stop disasters, and no, stay out radio messages to get to where he is. Now, just when he's finally about to get a car worthy of a title fight, Ferrari parachutes in a 7-time world champion who refuses to play second fiddle to anyone. This isn't gonna be friendly. And speaking of friendly, let's talk about the real elephant in the room, Red Bull. Because while Ferrari is busy accidentally creating a civil war, Red Bull is sitting back, sipping their energy drinks, and preparing to obliterate everyone. Remember how in previous seasons, Verstappen would basically nap through the first few months, and then once the car was dialed in, he'd go full Darth Vader mode and win everything? Yeah, that era might be over. Because if Ferrari's pace is real, and that's a big IF, we might actually get the first proper title fight in years. But here's the twist. Verstappen doesn't seem worried. He's been eerily calm, talking about how the RB21 feels fine and how they're just focusing on reliability for now. You know what that sounds like? It sounds like a man who already knows he's got a rocket ship and is just playing mind games with the competition. Because let's be honest, no one in Red Bull ever admits when they have a dominant car. Every year, we get the same act. Oh, we're not sure if we're the favorites this season. We're just focused on improving the car. Ferrari and Mercedes look strong. We'll have to see. And then, boom, Verstappen wins 17 races. So yeah, Ferrari fans better hope and pray that this SF25 is actually fast enough to stop the Red Bull death machine. Because if not, all this Hamilton versus Leclerc drama won't even matter. And speaking of drama, let's talk about the wild card in all of this, Mercedes. Because what the hell is going on in Brackley? 1 minute, Toto Wolff is saying they've learned from their mistakes and are coming back stronger. Next thing you know, Andrea Kimi Antonelli, an 18-year-old rookie, is topping preseason test sessions like he's been driving F1 cars since birth. Excuse me, what? Mercedes has been hyping this kid up for months, but now it turns out the hype might actually be real. We've seen young drivers impress before, but this is different. If Antonelli is this fast, this early, he might just throw a massive F***ing wrench into Hamilton and Verstappen's plans. Because imagine this scenario. Mercedes suddenly figures their car out, Antonelli keeps up his stupidly quick pace, and now we've got a three-way fight for the title. Hamilton versus Verstappen versus Antonelli. If that happens, holy SHT*, we're in for an absolute blockbuster of a season. Now, let's not get ahead of ourselves. Testing is testing. We've seen teams look fast in pre-season before, Ferrari 2019 only to completely disappear when it actually matters. But based on the data so far, this year's grid looks closer than it's been in years. And that's where things get really spicy, because if the top 3 teams are all in the mix, that means every single race is going to be chaos. We're talking strategy wars, team orders drama, last lap fights, and potentially the greatest championship battle since 2021. And honestly, we need this. After 2 years of watching Verstappen turn F1 into his personal highlight reel, the sport needs a real fucking fight. If there's one thing we've learned from this preseason so far, it's that Formula 1 in 2025 is shaping up to be absolutely mental. Let's take a step back and really look at the madness unfolding before us. Lewis Hamilton, the most successful driver in F1 history, has waltzed into Ferrari, immediately started throwing hands with Leclerc, demanding customizations to his steering wheel like an F1 diva, and is already putting in lap times that Ferrari couldn't even dream of last season. Leclerc, meanwhile, knows damn well what's at stake. He's been Ferrari's golden boy for years, suffered through countless heartbreaks, pit stop disasters, and dodgy strategy calls. And just when things start looking up, Ferrari brings in Hamilton, a man whose very existence screams main character energy. And now, there's no hiding from the war that's coming. Because this isn't just about who's faster over one lap. It's about power, control, legacy. Leclerc wants to be the man who brings Ferrari back to the top. Hamilton wants to be the legend who ends his career as the ultimate GOAT. And Ferrari, well, Ferrari just wants to win a damn championship for the first time since 2008. That alone would be enough drama to fuel an entire season. But it gets even crazier when you look at what's happening outside Maranello. Because just when Ferrari was gearing up to take the fight to Red Bull, a wild Mercedes appears. And not just any Mercedes. A Mercedes led by a kid who wasn't even born when Hamilton won his first title. Andrea Kimi Antonelli has officially thrown his hat into the ring. And if his early testing pace is even remotely legit, Hamilton and Verstappen aren't just going to have to fight each other. They're going to have to deal with a prodigy who might not even know what fear feels like yet. And that is a terrifying prospect. Because Antonelli doesn't have any expectations. He doesn't have a legacy to protect. He doesn't have a decade of political baggage to deal with. He just has raw, unfiltered speed. And if Mercedes has built something even remotely competitive, we might be looking at the most shocking rookie season since Lewis Hamilton in 2007. Which, ironically, means Hamilton is now in the exact same position that Alonso was in back then. An all-time great, trying to fend off a young gun, while also dealing with another title rival in Red Bull. Sounds familiar? History might just be repeating itself. And speaking of Red Bull, what the hell are they up to? Verstappen has been eerily quiet, throwing out vague comments about just getting a feel for the car and focusing on reliability. And let's be honest, nobody believes a word of it. This is the same Red Bull that obliterated the field for 2 years straight. The same Red Bull that claims they don't know how good they are every single season, only to lap everyone by race 4. So the real question is, are they sandbagging? Because if Ferrari and Mercedes have actually closed the gap, that means Verstappen is about to face something he hasn't had to deal with in years, genuine competition. For the first time since 2021, he might not be able to just cruise to victory. And let's be clear, a Verstappen under pressure is a Verstappen we all want to see. Because when Max has to fight for it, when he has to dig deep, he turns into an absolute beast. And if Ferrari, Mercedes, and maybe even McLaren have actually caught up, we could be looking at a season that makes 2021 look like a casual Sunday drive. So now, as we wrap up pre-season testing, the biggest questions hanging over the paddock are, is Ferrari actually a title contender? Or is this just another case of false hope Ferrari teasing us again? Will Hamilton take control of the team? Or is Leclerc about to dig his heels in and fight back? Is Mercedes secretly faster than they're letting on? And is Antonelli about to shake up the entire grid? And most importantly, is Red Bull actually vulnerable? Or are they just waiting to unleash hell when the season starts? One thing's for sure, F1 is back, and it's about to be a goddamn spectacle. So buckle up, grab your popcorn, and get ready, because the drama is just getting started. And if you want to see why Ferrari's internal warfare might be the biggest storyline of the season,